Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to my prayer closet. We're going to be continuing on my assignment that to pray for all mankind to seek the Lord their God with all their heart and with all their soul and all their very being. We're going to do something a little bit different tonight, as I was giving one verse to pray over. And let's go ahead and go to Zephaniah chapter 2, and I'm going to go ahead and switch to my document. Okay. Let's zoom in a little bit so we can see this. Zephaniah talks about the day of the Lord, and that day is soon approaching. So, Zephaniah chapter 2, I'm going to go ahead and read this. It is important for you to read what you're going to pray over, and it's good to read it again and again. So, if you miss something, you'll catch it. So, Judgment on Judah's Enemies is the title. Gather together, yes, gather, O shameless nation, before the decree takes effect. Before the day passes away like chaff, before there comes upon you the burning anger of the Lord, before there comes upon you the day of the anger of the Lord. Seek the Lord, all you humble of the land, who do his just commands. Seek righteousness, seek humility, perhaps you may be hidden on the day of the anger of the Lord. For Gaza shall be deserted, and Ashkelon shall become a desolation. Ashdod's people shall be driven out at noon, and Ekron shall be uprooted. Woe to you, inhabitants of the sea coast, you nation of the Cherethites. The word of the Lord is against you, O Canaan, land of the Philistines, and I will destroy you until no inhabitant is left. And you, O sea coasts, shall be pastures, with meadows for shepherds and folds for flocks. The sea coast shall become the possession of the remnant of the house of Judah, on which they shall graze, and in the house of Ashkelon they shall lie down at evening. For the Lord their God will be mindful of them and restore their fortunes. I'm going to go ahead and when I read this a second time, I was thinking, be mindful of them for the Lord their God. Okay. I have heard the taunts of Moab and the revilings of the Ammonites, how they have taunted my people and made boasts against their territory. Therefore, as I live, declares the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, Moab shall be like Sodom and the Ammonites like Gomorrah, a land possessed by nettles and salt pits and waste forever. The remnant of my people shall plunder them, and the survivors of my nation shall possess them. This shall be their lot in return for their pride, because they have taunted and boasted against the people of the Lord of hosts. The Lord will be awesome against them, for he will famish all the gods of the earth, and to him shall bow down each in its place, all the lands of the nations. You also, O Cushite, shall be slain by my sword, and he will stretch out his hand against the north and destroy Assyria, and he will make Nineveh a desolation, a dry waste like the desert. Herds shall lie down in her midst, all kind of beasts. Even the owl and the hedgehog shall lodge in her capitals. A voice shall hoot in the window. Devastation will be on the threshold, for her cedar work will be laid bare. This is the exultant city that lives securely, that said in her heart, I am, and there is no one else. What a desolation she has become, a lair for wild beasts. Everyone who passes her hisses and shakes his fist. What a word picture. The day of the Lord be a very, very destructive. So that's why we're praying for all mankind to seek the Lord. All right, so what I did, since I was just really given one verse, verse 3, seek the Lord, all you humble the land, is that I went ahead and picked the same verse from the ESV, the NIH, and the NASB, and the King James Version. If you're still having trouble with a single verse to pray over, you can look at other translations. What's important is that you understand the translations, and the different translations will help you wordsmith the prayer. So the prayer that I came up with is, Father God, I lift prayers for all mankind that they would humble themselves before you and seek you. Help them learn and keep your ordinances and do your just commands. Help them learn and seek righteousness and seek meekness in accordance with and to your words and decrees. Help them put their trust in you. Help them put their trust in your Son, Jesus. Lord, be mindful of them. I had added that. Remember them and hide them on the day of your anger. Shelter them and protect them by your name. And I talked a little bit about the Lord protecting by his name. It kind of gives me a word picture of the Lord writing his name all over all over us, his people, on our feet, on our hands, on our heads. And just think our names are written on the palms of his hands. So I'm going to stop sharing. There we go. I'll put this prayer in the description. Feel free to watch this video again and pray this prayer again, because it's important for God's people to pray for mankind, especially in these last days. Well, thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next time. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.